I knew it was a bad trade. I saw the setup. I knew it didn't follow my rules. I knew I shouldn't take it. And I still clicked. Not by accident. Not by mistake. I chose to take it. And that's what made it worse. Because it wasn't a lack of knowledge. It wasn't a lack of experience. It was something deeper. Something I didn't want to admit. I wasn't in control. And if you've ever traded, you've probably been there too. You see a setup. You hesitate. You know it's not clean. You know it's risky. But there's this voice in your head. Just this one. It might work. You don't want to miss this. And suddenly, you're in the trade. And the moment you enter, you already regret it. But now you're stuck. Watching. Hoping. Waiting. And deep down, you already know how it ends. That cycle. That exact moment. That's what destroys most traders. Not lack of strategy. Not lack of knowledge. Lack of control. Because knowing what to do is not the same as doing it. That's the trap. You think learning more will fix it. More strategies. More indicators. More videos. But it doesn't. Because the problem isn't information. It's behavior. And behavior is hard to change. Because it's not logical. It's emotional. It's impulsive. It's automatic. And that's why you keep repeating the same mistake. Even when you know better. I used to think I just needed more discipline. Just be stronger. Just follow your rules. Just don't click. But that doesn't work. Because willpower is unreliable. Some days you have it. Some days you don't. And trading doesn't wait for you to feel ready. The market moves anyway. So if your system depends on willpower, it will fail. Eventually. That's what happened to me. I had rules. Clear rules. Simple rules. And I still broke them. Over and over again. And every time, I told myself the same thing. Next time will be different. But it wasn't. Because nothing actually changed. I was still relying on the same thing. Control. Without structure. And that's where the real problem is. You don't rise to your expectations. You fall to your systems. And if your system allows bad decisions, you will make them. Not sometimes. Consistently. That's when I stopped asking, why am I so undisciplined? And started asking, how can I make bad decisions harder to do? That shift changed everything. Because instead of fighting myself, I started designing around my weaknesses. Let me explain. Before, if I saw a setup, I could enter instantly. One click. Done. No friction. No delay. Just impulse. And that's dangerous. Because impulses are fast. They don't give you time to think. They push you to act. So I added friction. Simple things. But powerful. I forced myself to wait. Even just a few seconds. Before entering a trade. And in those few seconds, something happens. The emotion fades. The urgency drops. The logic comes back. And suddenly, that perfect setup doesn't look so perfect anymore. That pause, that tiny delay, saved me from so many bad trades. Then I added another rule. If I feel the urge to trade, I step away. Not reduce risk. Not hesitate. Step away completely. Because that urge is the signal, not the opportunity. The signal to stop. That's something most people get wrong. They think the urge means, take the trade. But it actually means, you're about to make a mistake. That's the difference. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Then I limited my trades. Not based on setups. Based on behavior. 1 trade. 2 trades max. That's it. Because overtrading is not a strategy problem. It's a control problem. And limits create control. Not feelings. Structure. I also stopped watching the chart constantly. Because the more you watch, the more you want to act. And the more you act, the more mistakes you make. So I gave myself space. Time away from the screen. Time to think. Time to reset. And that changed my perspective. Because now, I wasn't reacting. I was deciding. And that's a big difference. One is emotional. The other is intentional. Slowly, things started to change. Not instantly, but consistently. I still had the urge. That never goes away. But I didn't follow it anymore. I observed it. And that's powerful. Because once you can observe something, you don't have to obey it. And that's what control really is. Not removing emotions, but not being controlled by them. That's the difference. Most people think discipline means no emotions. That's impossible. You will always feel something. Fear, greed, excitement. But discipline means you don't act on it. You acknowledge it. And you move on. That's what I learned. And once I understood that, trading became simpler. Not easier. Simpler. Because I stopped fighting myself. And started working with myself. I accepted that I'm human. That I'll feel things. That I'll make mistakes. But I built systems. that protect me from those mistakes. And that's what changed everything. Not a better strategy, not more knowledge, better structure. Because structure doesn't rely on feelings. It works regardless. And that's what you need. Because the market doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait. It doesn't adjust. It just moves. And if you're not prepared, you react. And reacting is what causes bad trades. So if you keep taking trades you shouldn't, it's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're incapable. It's because your system allows it. And until you fix that, nothing will change. You'll keep repeating the same cycle. Knowing, breaking, regretting, over and over again. But once you build structure, that cycle breaks. Not completely, but enough to make progress. And that's all you need. Progress, not perfection. Because perfection doesn't exist in trading. Control does. And control is built, not wished for. So the next time you see a trade, and you feel that urge, pause, just for a moment. Ask yourself, is this my system, or my emotion? And be honest, because that answer will decide everything. And the more honest you are, the better you become. Slowly, but surely. And that's how you win. Not by avoiding mistakes, but by reducing them. Not by being perfect, but by being consistent. And that starts with control.